Hi, this is TJR, and you may have seen the recent video that's been circulating around the internet where pop singer Adele, the very famous pop singer who is largely responsible for keeping the music industry afloat right now, she was performing at a concert, and she asked a fan to please stop filming. And she told the fan, you can enjoy the show in real life rather than through a camera lens. And added, hey, this isn't a DVD, this is a real show. To my pleasant surprise, a lot of fans cheered her on in this regard. And I was kind of glad to see this happen. Myself personally, I might want to get a picture or two of a show. I might want to get maybe a little bit of footage, maybe as a memory keepsake, maybe of a particular song. But personally, I do not want to spend an entire concert like this, holding up my camera like this and looking at the lens to make sure I've got like a good, shot going on. And there are people who spend the majority of the concert doing that. I don't understand that. I'd rather experience the concert with my own eyes and experience the show rather than film it through a phone. If I want to see it at home, I'd rather buy the official, Blu-ray DVD release and enjoy it that way, because it's going to be way more professionally shot and have much better sound quality than my phone is capable of. But also, for a lot of us who want to watch the show, having a bunch of people in front of you going like this, up in the air like this, can be annoying when you're trying to watch the show, because you've got all these hands up in the air, semi-blocking your view. I was glad that a large part of the audience applauded rather than booed, like, how dare you tell us what to do at your concert, that they were enthusiastic about it. Now, I know that there are some people watching this video who have never known a world without cell phones and are too young to remember that there was once a time, if you took a camera to a concert, you ran the risk of it getting confiscated. You are still searched at concerts nowadays, I believe, maybe with just like a magnet detector, possibly, depending on the show. But you would be searched at concerts. I remember back in the day, physically searched would happen. And if they found a camera, they could confiscate it from you, take it away from you. It was risky to try to bring a camera into a show. It was risky to bring any kind of recording device into a show. There were, of course, some exceptions. The Grateful Dead was always open to letting their fans tape their shows, but they were the exception. But what happened is, as cell phones began to happen, no venue could tell you couldn't have your cell phone with you because you might need it in case of an emergency. And in the early days of cell phones, they had cameras, they had video, but they were pretty crude and limited, and the audio was not that great that you would record. But as time wore on, pretty much everybody now has a pretty decent camera, video recorder, and audio recorder in their pocket now with their cell phone. And in a sense of perfect synchronicity and timing, not too long after this video with Adele got circulated, another news story came out that I read on CNN Money, where with the headline, Apple doesn't want you filming at concerts. And it appears that Apple has applied for a patent that would prevent you from videoing a concert with your cell phone. Now, the way this invention works, it's an infrared signal that would be in a fixed place where video recording is prohibited or where they don't want you to film. Now, this technology is not exclusive to just use at concerts, but you can see where some bands and music artists might not want you to record their shows. And the technology will only prevent you from filming where the infrared signal is aimed at. So basically the way this would work, a band would be on stage, these infrared signals would be aimed at the band, and of course when you put your camera up there to film, apparently from what I've read, you're going to get basically a message saying, that you can't film this, or that it's just not going to work. Now, you can still take pictures of yourself at the show. You can still take pictures and videos of you and your friends, hanging out, to post on Facebook, that sort of thing. But when you shoot at the actual show, you won't be able to do that. Now, here is what comes to mind as I think about this. Now, I'm of two minds, which I tend to be a lot when I look at these types of things, because I do like to take a picture. I do want to take a picture, from my own memories. I do want to maybe take a little bit of footage. But I totally get not wanting to have a bunch of this in the air while I'm trying to watch a show. I personally don't think that or rather I should say, I think the reason why most music artists don't want you filming is not for any copyright reasons. It's because they want you to experience the show. And of course, there are people who will say, well, I'm experiencing the show the way I choose to. And if I want to experience the show holding up my phone, I should be allowed to do that. But then again, I shouldn't have to put up with your hands up in the air doing this, with hundreds of people doing this, obstructing my view of the show. So I guess the question is, will this kind of technology become necessary? And is there some sort of common ground we can meet at? I think it's ridiculous to think that you're going to be able to police this sort of thing with people. I remember being at a recent show of Heart about a year or so back, and everybody was filming, taking pictures, that sort of thing. And at one point, I did try to walk up closer to the stage to get a better picture. And the security guy said to me, go ahead, take your picture, but don't spend the whole show doing this, which I was fine with, and which I thought made good sense because you've got all these people blocking the view with that if they stayed there the whole show. So they were letting people come up, take your couple pictures you want to take, get a better view, and then get back to your seat again. I also wonder if even if this technology, becomes available, and even though many music artists and bands would prefer you not spend the entire show filming them, I have a feeling that a lot of artists and bands are just not going to use it anyways. Even though they would really prefer you put the camera down and watch the show, I think they aren't going to use it simply because of the negative backlash it would create, because no matter how many times you try to explain, we want you to watch the show. That's what we want you to do. It's going to be interpreted as they want to keep me from my right to film whatever I want to film. It's going to be this whole, I have a right to do this. I bought a ticket. And I think maybe you have a right to do it, but within reason, and you have to think about the other people in the audience and, what you're doing for their experience with the show. And so I think what it comes down to is, can we impose a certain amount of just common decency? Just like when you're in a movie theater, you don't spend the entire show talking to your friend during a movie. It's okay to say, oh, what did he say? When you're watching a movie, it's, everybody, we expect you to laugh. We expect you to scream during the scary parts, but we don't expect you to carry on long conversations during a movie because we're trying to watch. And so I guess it just comes down to common decency, really. One possible compromise is that a music artist or band could choose to have this infrared technology in place during a majority of their performance, and then could have a pocket of time where they say, this is the camera zone period, where you can go ahead and film, take pictures. Maybe we're going to do our biggest hit right now. So now's the time to pull out your cameras and shoot, and just let everybody kind of go wild that wants to do that during that time. Personally, though, I think a lot of music artists are just simply going to continue to encourage fans to put the phone down and to actually experience the show. One thing, though, that has occurred to me as I've thought about this technology is the potential for misuse of this type of technology. I feel like there's a darker aspect to this because you can use this anywhere. And right now, the fact that everybody has a cell phone, everybody has the ability to kind of be a journalist right now, a reporter, so to speak, because if there are abuses of authority, people can pull out their cell phones and they can film that, and they can broadcast it to the world via the internet. And is it possible that government agencies could find ways to adapt this technology so you can't film them? And I think this could be a serious thing, because the ability to do this, I think, has created a lot more transparency in our society. What do you think? Be curious to read your comments. Anyways, this is TJR. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.